You know, Totri, I figured a moment this big, let's do a post-game show so good that they have to rush the field twice.
Let's do it. Point to me when it's... Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the PHNX Sun Devils show. Meet us on Mill because your Arizona State Sun Devils, Erik, did it for the 9th time this season. They took down the BYU Cougars 28-23. The Sun Devils now control their own destiny to the Big 12 championship. Of course, we are here at Mountain America Stadium. We have a ton to get into. Of course, we are going to talk about tiebreakers, Big 12 title. We're going to talk about bottle service. We've got aftertaste. We've got by the numbers. Erik, we have it all for arguably the most intense Arizona State football game that we've seen here in quite some time.
Woo! Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
That game made me feel something, man. That game made me feel something. I was sitting there, obviously, at the very end. You get a little bit nervous.
Were you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
You nervous?
I was a little nervous. I'm a nervous now, right? But here's the thing. Deep down inside, we knew. Because this team has done it over and over. I feel like a broken record.
Yeah.
Over and over again. In big moments, in big games, when they need it most, somebody, and it's somebody different, but somebody always steps up, whether it's on offense, whether it's on defense. This team just has it about it. It's the greatest story in college football. It is the best story in the Big 12. This is the best team in the Big 12, and I'm saying that right here, right now. Your Arizona State Sun Devils, all of you in here right now, whether you're on audio, whether you're live on YouTube, whether you're joining us on Samsung TV, well, however you're joining us, your Arizona State Sun Devils are the best football team in the Big 12, and they have proven it over and over again.
It's unbelievable.
Come on, dude.
It's unbelievable stuff. And I think, again, for me, there was a moment in the game where BYU took over on downs after Kenny Dillingham decided to go for it. There was some miscommunication in the backfield between Sam Leavitt, Cam Skattebo. BYU takes over. I look to you after the Cougars cross the 50-yard line, and I say it's funny because we've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Arizona State's defense has been on the field to close out football games, and they've got it done. And BYU's offense a number of times this season has been in the same scenario, and they found ways to get it done. So you've got the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, and it was Arizona State's unstoppable force was able to get it done, or I guess the immovable object in that.
They're both.
In that
ASU
metaphor.
is the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
They are. Cam Skattebo may be the unstoppable force. Look,
unless he runs the wrong way.
It kind of goes back to what you were talking about, right? In terms of this team just being different, a team of destiny, a team that when they need somebody to step up and make a play and have a moment, they do that, right? Cam Skattebo had a 3-touchdown first half, and in all honesty, you could go a half an hour on this postgame show and not mention Cam Skattebo at all because of everything else that was done in this game, right? Yeah. Obviously, you have the tail end of this game. You have the students and the fans rushing the
defense
field.
Winning in the trenches. Jordyn Tyson making big-time Sunday-like plays.
Yeah.
Sam Leavitt, sure, he didn't have his greatest game, but he still delivered some really great passes and probably should have had an extra touchdown in there to Javan Robinson or two. That's the story of Arizona State. Well, there is one sole guy that you kind of look to first, especially nationally, and it's Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo, and I love the guy. He's not 9-2 by himself.
No.
He's a massive part of it.
Yeah.
And he is kind of the tone setter that everybody plays off of. But you don't get to 9-2 if it's not an all across the board thing. And we look at this roster, and we talked about it all summer. And everybody who's been watching us throughout that, the people who have been following along every step of the way, even from last season as well. And of course, some of you have been following along for literal decades with this team. we looked at this roster and we saw the potential and we saw the talent, but it wasn't exactly proven. It wasn't a roster that you can come in and be like front to back, we see stars. We see players that the Big 12 is going to take notice for. We see players that other schools were trying to steal from ASU. No, the reality is the players that were getting stolen got stolen.
Correct.
Right? And then the players that stayed and the players that ASU signed, a lot of them were like, not projects, but hey, I see something in you that other people don't see. Right? So when you're building a roster like that, not made out of 5 stars, not made out of 4 stars, right? Not even made out of 3 stars in some senses as well. You have to have a total team effort in order to win games in the fashion that they were winning games. And you've now in back-to-back weeks, when we talked about it being the season-defining stretch, the toughest stretch, even when ASU was winning, we're like, you're probably going to drop at least one of these games realistically to Kansas State and BYU. Now, the second halves are the second halves, and we'll talk about play calling, we'll talk about time management, we'll do all of that. The reality is you came into both of those games and you thoroughly dominated in the first half. So much that even when your opponent got in a rhythm in the second half, it didn't really matter because of how well you played in the first. That's a team top to bottom, the entire roster that is ready and prepared for the moment. A testament to them and the coaches for getting them there as well. Total team effort.
That is imposing your will.
Yes.
That's what Kenny Dillingham and Arizona State have done in the first half of the last 2 football games. You go back to the Kansas State game, and then, of course, the first half here, they imposed their will. They've got a brand of football that they play, and it starts with running the football, which is exactly what they needed to do today against a BYU run defense that wasn't nearly as good as they saw last week against Kansas State. And then you look to what they did against the Wildcats. It was a different kind of imposing your will. It's, we are going to make you have to take men out of the box to try and play in coverage because we like our guys versus your guys. That was Jordyn Tyson. That was Sam Leavitt against Kansas State. Today, it happened to be Cam Skattebo. And that's the fun thing about this team is that they can beat you in a bunch of different ways. Yes, there were issues in the second half. The defense was soft at a certain point, and not soft literally. I say soft as in they were soft in coverage, and BYU was able to just march down the field and do kind of whatever they wanted in the second half. But when Arizona State needed a stop, when they needed a play, it was a guy that, like you were kind of alluding to earlier, was a transfer, was a kid that wasn't a 5-star recruit. He was a Washington State defensive back, transferred over to Arizona State. This is his first season. I believe he's a sophomore or a junior. And this kid made the biggest play of the season for the Arizona State Sun Devils, picking off Jake Retzlaff and pretty much putting this one away outside of a ridiculous 7 seconds and change when just all madness ensued.
Yeah, absolutely. With Javan specifically, it's so fun to kind of piece together every little moment that leads us here, right? Because again, we're sitting here 9-2. Players like Javan Robinson,
9-2. Think about that. 9-2.
I mean, the big deli man, Diefenbach, is in the back there screaming. How could you not scream? I mean, this is so much fun, but let's just follow the path of Javan Robinson.
Let's
right?
follow the path.
He plays for a Brian Ward defense beforehand, okay? And he is one of the many players on defense in this past transfer portal season that came to Arizona State specifically for what?
To play in the system.
To play in the system, to play in the scheme that's so appetizing for a player like him, right? And of course, there's personal relationships, but that was a big reason that he cited. You spend the entire summer getting him settled in. He's made big plays over this season. He's been an important part of your secondary that has been up and down. Yeah. Right? But
the first, the second half was not good for the secondary.
No, and that's the thing. The only way that BYU was even moving down the field was because they were attacking in the air. And that's what I was worried about going into this game. They have so many receivers who average about 15 yards per reception. Yeah. So your secondary is going to get tested. But here's the thing. You get tested. You don't lose the confidence. Your coach continues to have faith in you. You have faith in the system. And when the moment is at its biggest, You make the biggest play of your career. Javan Robinson will never forget that.
No.
And that is something that's going to be passed down through other players in this team, through other recruits that are watching this, because you follow the path. I believe in the system. I believe in this coach. I want to be in Tempe. We work hard over the entire summer. We start our season. We surprise everybody. Everybody catches up. Now we're playing everybody tough. Now we're playing the big dogs, Kansas State, BYU, teams that were picked to win the Big 12 just a week or two ago. And that guy is the guy who steps up and saves the game.
Yeah.
That path is any recruit's dream.
Yeah. I mean, you said we played the big dogs. Let's get something straight. Arizona State
is the big dog.
They are the big dog right now. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, right? And you said you would have loved to try and get to 2-1 in this last 3-game stretch. Obviously, you assumed a gimme game against Arizona. You were going to have to sneak one off against BYU or Kansas State. We both felt that Kansas State was the tougher team. And you found yourself in a position now where you do control your destiny with just 1 game left in the season. We're obviously going to continue talking about this game, but I've seen it on social media. I've seen a lot of people already in the chat asking about what this game means and what needs to happen for Arizona State to make the Big 12 title game. Well, going into this game, Arizona State already held a ton of tiebreaker situations over Iowa State, Colorado, and BYU. Their chances just got a lot better today because now Arizona State advances to 9-2, still only 2 conference losses. Colorado lost today to Kansas. So Colorado, now if I am correct, let's go ahead and check the Big 12 standings. Colorado is 8-3 on the season. Arizona State is, let's see, they are 9-2. Colorado 6-2 in conference. BYU 6-2 in conference. Arizona State 6-2 in conference. Now, I know after the game, ESPN said that Iowa State needed to lose one of their 2 final games. Arizona State going into this game already had the tiebreaker over Iowa State. It does not matter if they beat Utah. It does not matter if they beat Kansas State because Arizona State has already played and beaten both of those teams. There isn't a way for Iowa State to advance past Arizona State. Now, Arizona State, because of the win today over BYU, they have the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Cougars. So as long as Arizona State beats Arizona next weekend, the Sun Devils have punched their ticket to Dallas. They're going to the Big 12 championship.
Which, by the way, we are doing a takeover. It's Sun Devils and it's Wildcats down in Tucson this upcoming Saturday. Go phnx.com/events. We are going to be there. We are going to be taking on Tucson. I know we got some Devils in Tucson, and I know we got some Devils that are traveling to Tucson.
Absolutely.
Make sure you come hang out with us before the game. We'll be watching the game, and we will be doing a post-game show as well. So make sure you do that. Go phnx.com/events. Plus, we also have a new t-shirt. The Valley has been activated. I think it's pretty safe to say. A new t-shirt at the locker. You can go to gophnx.com to find the locker as well. And you can find a beautiful new Activate the Valley shirt.
It's a fire shirt.
To rep your Big 12 leading Sun Devils. And I know we got a little bit of a different setup here.
We do.
So we can't see the comments and everything, but I just want to take a second and thank everybody who's in here right now, whether you're one of our diehards, whether you're one of the new viewers here. We appreciate all of you. Just please make sure you hit that like button so we can continue to do what we do and help celebrate the Sun Devils with you. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports. If you're new around here, we cover every single team, and we do it every single day. All right here on PHNX Sports, but we should just keep the party going because, man, we're partying.
It's unbelievable. Like Erik said, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Look, we're going to continue to talk about the game as a whole, but I do want to give a nod to the fans today. The fans showed up and showed out in Tempe. We stopped by a couple tailgates today.
We did. It was awesome.
It was a ton of fun. If we saw you out there, thanks for obviously the warm welcome, but Mountain America Stadium was on fire today. It was a college football environment. You had 2 ranked teams, and BYU, you got to give them credit. They showed out today.
They did. There was a lot of blue.
A lot of blue out in the stands, but Arizona State, when they needed the crowd the most, third down, that last drive as well, they found a way to get involved in the game, and that's what you need, right? That's what Kenny Dillingham wanted to build here. He wanted to build a place to where the entire Valley, come Saturday, had one thing to do, and it was the Arizona State football game. That's what that was today, right? We spent all week talking about how this environment was going to be ridiculous, how this was the biggest game at Arizona State in the last 10 years. We can say that, and that can be fine and well, but that's not what the standard is wanted. That's not what Kenny wants the standard to be. He wants it every Saturday to be this type of environment. He wants the entire Valley every Saturday to be this juiced to come watch Arizona State play ball in the Big 12. And I feel like they've given you a reason now to go out there and want to do that. Because what do we say all offseason, right? The team has to win before
and then they're going to come.
And guess what? Now the team has won, and now you have to show up.
And that's the thing. If this team has done anything so far this season, and by the way, this season is far from over, but already, even before this game specifically, if this program has earned anything from its fans over this season, it's that everybody needs to show up. Everybody needs to support. You saw Kenny Dillingham wearing a Sun Angel Collective hoodie to coach this final home game, which, by the way, ASU undefeated at home for the first time since 2004.
2004, yeah. 20
That's a long
years.
time.
20 years.
20 years is a long time.
Biggest game in 10 years, first time undefeated at home in 20 years.
And this team is only on the upswing as well. This is only year 2. Imagine what happens if you go out there and you support this team too. But absolutely, there was a ton of BYU fans here. But I'm going to be honest with you, besides certain moments, if you just listened, you didn't think there was a lot of BYU fans here.
No.
The ASU fans were rowdier. They were more passionate. The tailgates were bumping, like everything.
Yeah.
The pops, like even when Trenton Bourget came out for senior day, there was a pop, right? And then, of course, all the big plays during the game. I mean, this was, I think, maybe the loudest that we've heard this stadium in quite some time. And obviously I haven't been here exactly like in the stadium that much, but it's hard to imagine more packed, more like like not raunchy, but like I was rowdy.
Oh, there
rowdy
you go.
fans.
There you go.
That's what I
Raunchy
was
is a
looking for.
wild word
Definitely
for that.
not raunchy.
No, look, I have been. I have been at the stadium a lot over the last decade, and I've been at games where Arizona State has beaten Oregon, where Arizona State has beaten a ranked Washington team. I haven't heard this stadium as loud as it was when Javan Robinson picked off that Retzlaff pass. It has never been that loud in my lifetime at Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
And big-time players made big-time plays in big-time moments, whether that be Javan Robinson on the tail end of it or Cam Skattebo kind of down the stretch. You had a bunch of different Sun Devils contributing to this win. And I know the end was a little, it was biting your nails. You're biting your nails at the end of this one. But the fact of the matter is they found a way to win. And that's something that they've done time and time again. You go back to the Kansas game.
Right.
You go back to the Utah game. You go back to the UCF game. You go back to the Texas State game. How many games have there been where we're in the fourth quarter and Arizona State has to just get it done?
And you know what? That's not something that you can train in the offseason.
No, you have to learn how to win.
But you know what, dude? This team, like, yeah, last year was the learn how to win season, right? And you even mentioned Kenny say that, right? Like, we're just a team that's learning how to win when they don't pull off that massive upset against Washington, right? But usually you learn those things by playing on the field together, but so many different moving parts and pieces to this team, so many transfers, players returning from injuries, and not a ton of players returning from last season's team. And from the start, I mean, obviously you blow out Wyoming, but past that, you are playing in close games over and over again. And so the fact that they were prepared to take advantage of those opportunities in season at that moment without having prior seasons of experience doing that, that is wildly impressive. And then that makes you think, okay, well then what about what's next, right? Maybe not just this season, because as we've mentioned, they've continued to play better and still to this day at 9-2 have not played to what I think can be their highest potential and level. There is another place that this team can hit.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've seen it yet, and that is scary for every other team, and that is so exciting for Sun Devils. But then you look to next year and the year after that, and when you start having some continuity with some of the young guys that, again, Kenny brings in here because you want to be here. And according to Sam Levitt's dad, Sam Levitt still wants to be here, right? And again, that's a dad. We don't know for sure, but all signs are pointing towards some key pieces returning next year. How are you going to not get better after all of this? And surely the influx of talent that this program is going to see after this season. I mean, you put everything on the line. You make the Big 12 championship, right? That's eyeballs. You win the Big 12 championship.
We got so much to talk about.
That's a lot of eyeballs.
We got so much to talk about.
We have a lot to get into.
We do. You did ask what was next.
Yes.
So I want to take you to what's next.
Oh,
and
tell
that
me.
is That is by the numbers.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to go ahead, get to by the numbers presented by Desert Financial Credit Union, Arizona's #1 credit union, named by Forbes. Of course, the only number that matters is that final score. Arizona State coming out on top over BYU, 28-23. Erik, cannot believe that is how they got it done. In terms of passing yards, 297 for Retzlaff and the Cougars, 247 for Sam Leavitt and company. On the ground, $154 for Arizona State, 94 for BYU. In terms of total yards, 401 for the Sun Devils, 391 for the Cougars. In terms of turnovers, just 1 for Arizona State, 2 interceptions for Retzlaff in terms of turning the football over. In terms of possession time, 35 minutes and change for the Devils, 24 minutes and 55 seconds for BYU. Is there a number that specifically stands out to you the most, Erik?
I think it's time of possession and turnovers. Because ASU won this game, and I know we're going to get into some of the play calling and everything at the end of the fourth or whatever, but because they ran out the clock so much, because they had really long drives. In fact, the longest scoring drive that they had all season was in this game as well. So I'm going to say controlling the clock, and then, of course, the turnovers, because what happens at the end of the game, right? You pick it off, and you win.
You put it away.
You put it away. I think beyond that, BYU outgaining in passing yards is pretty telling, and obviously the secondary comes up with the big play, but BYU was eating, and they certainly found what they had to do as far as exploit ASU's weakness, and ASU was still able to take that punch like they've been able to take so many punches this season and say that doesn't matter, we're shaking it off, and we're still finding a way to win.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think I'm with you. I'm going to go ahead and say time of possession. Time of possession for Arizona State, 35 minutes and change. This is a team in the Sun Devils that has found ways to control the game time and time again, and they did it. They did it. Your Arizona State Sun Devils with 35 minutes time of possession. It makes it really, really difficult to beat a team that controls the clock, that will just shorten the game, especially with guys like Cam Skattebo and Kyson Brown. So, look, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. The post-game show is just getting started. Let us know in the comments your favorite play. Your favorite play of tonight's game. I am going to say the interception does not count. Okay, you have to pick a different play. You can't pick the game-sealing interception. We will talk about it and continue the post-game show on the other side of this break.
Let me tell you guys about Sanderson Ford, because Sanderson Ford has been in Glendale for 70 years, and they are thankful that they're able to do that. Thankful to you, the customers. Thankful to all of their employees that keep their massive facility running, whether that's their Starliner Diner, whether that's their museum, and of course, the people who are trying to get you in the right car at the right time. And they're so thankful that they're not just going to do a Black Friday sale on Black Friday or maybe the week of. No, it is a month-long Black Friday day deal over at Sanderson Ford, and that is America's most awarded Ford dealership. Their 65-acre facility is filled with people trying to get you in the best car. No pressure, no hassle, no nonsense. That is the Sanderson Ford way. Get a new 2024 F-150 truck with 3.9 APR financing for 66 months, plus up to $4,000 cash back. Similar savings on over 900 new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot. Plus, get an additional $1,000 Amazon gift card on a Bronco, Mach-E, Lightning, F-150, and all of that on Black Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Don't miss the Sanderson Ford Black Friday thank you sale. All offers expire on December 2nd.
Erik, I would say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, you are a hat connoisseur.
Yes.
So, how many branded Bills hats do you have in your collection?
Right now, 5. In the future, we're going to multiply that by a couple.
Now, just quick couple questions for you.
Sure.
Are they comfy?
Oh, I'm wearing one right now. They're extremely comfy.
Are they affordable?
Yes, absolutely.
Are they flexible?
Yes.
Does branded Bills have a ton of different options for you?
I mean, they've got snapbacks, truckers, fitted, beanies, tees, and the best part about it, they have ASU ones. They also have custom brand ones as well.
They do. And if you're a Wildcat fan, they do charity with the Wildcats.
They do charity. If you would like to support Brent Brennan and all the great things he's done with your program, you could do it through Branded Bills as well.
My goodness. Guys, head to brandedbills.com and use that code PHNX for 20% off your first order.
We buried not the lead, but this happened during our first segment. I don't think you saw it because you're not able to see the stream. Yeah, by the numbers was great. We got a Captain Redbeard solo cam.
Did we?
We got a solo cam.
We got a Captain Redbeard solo cam?
Aye, Captain.
What
it
the
was
heck,
huge.
man? That was awesome. You didn't want to tell us?
The people wanted it. The people wanted it for sure.
It was a secret.
Did the people want it?
The people always want the Captain Redbeard.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Look, do you want to get to bottle service? Do you want to do bottle service, or do you want to go somewhere else?
Let's wait on bottle service.
Let's wait on bottle
bit.
service. Okay.
And let's talk about.
You want to talk about the play calling?
Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay,
yeah,
let's talk about
the
play
elephant
calling at the end. Obviously, down the stretch, you have the ball on the 7-yard line.
Yeah.
Okay. You choose to just run backwards for 3 plays and then heave it at the very end of the game.
I don't even think that's the play calling that people are upset about.
I mean, that's the play calling that I'm upset about.
I like seeing the field get rushed twice. So
you like that?
I thought it was pretty funny.
It took a half hour to clear out.
I thought it was pretty funny.
It took a half hour to clear out. Well, look, we could talk about that play calling. We can also talk about when Arizona State decided to go for it twice. Twice. There was once on this side of the end zone. What is that? The north side? Yeah, the north end zone. I believe that was right before halftime.
Yeah, it was close to the end of halftime, and of course that 3 points kind of comes back to bite you because then you're in a position where
it's an 8-point game,
right? And you're coming back on the other end later in the game, and you're choosing not to, kick a field goal. And I understand that, give it to Scat, which there was a miscommunication there. I think they were trying to give it to him and they weren't able to.
Yeah,
but in that situation, I take those points, and I understand Kenny's a very aggressive coach, and of course,
which time do you understand? The first time or the second time?
I think I'm more okay with them going for it early.
Yes, I agree.
Than I am
first
later.
Time I'm fine.
But the thing is, when you get in that position later, if you would kick the field goal earlier, that would have been way less consequential.
Yeah, but
so it's like, you could either put it away and get a little bit more cushion early, and then that puts you in a position, though, when you go for it earlier and you don't get it, and BYU has also shown that they can stop you in those situations that short, which does matter in a game-to-game basis, just on a confidence level. If somebody's done it before, the same way that if you're like 0 for 8 on third downs, you feel that momentum when you're going for it on the 9th time. But when you get to the end, then there's so much pressure on you to either convert that 4th and short or kick that field goal. I would have taken the points, but I mean, Kenny Dillingham.
Which time?
The second time.
The second time.
The second time.
Yeah.
First time, I'm okay with it. I think I still would have taken the points, but I'm way more okay with it.
I'm not taking the points the first time.
That's fine. I am. I like to play it safe a little bit. But I get it. I get it.
Really? Because the second time we were in here and you were like, go for it.
Was I?
Yes.
I don't think I was.
Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. You were team go for it all the way. I tweeted out take the points, and they should have taken the points.
Dude, I tweeted out that they should have taken the points too.
No, you did not.
100%.
You did not.
100%.
There is no way you
out.
tweeted out take the points.
Am I going to have to strangle you at Mount America
No, but you're going to have to show me the evidence here because you were sitting right next to me, and you said go for it, put it away.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
I said you
did.
could. I said you could put it away.
Let's see.
Sorry, I've tweeted so much.
Yeah, right there.
ASU seemingly going for it on 4th and 1
you
up
said
5
I would take
with
the points.
2:40 left in the game.
You're right.
I would take the points.
You're right.
Feels like what happened here.
You're right. You are right. Okay, I am wrong. Hand up.
One more time.
Hand up.
One more time.
No, I'll give you the I'm right. You're not hearing the second time. The second
clip
thing.
It.
No, that's once. That's once. Okay, look. We did a phenomenal job today.
Did we?
We did. I think we did a great job.
There was a point.
There was a point before they went for it. I shut my laptop and I said, Erik, we've done all we can do.
He sits back and turns to me. He's like, we've controlled all that we can control. And I'm like, buddy, what do we control?
All of it. We got us to this point in the game. Okay. Everything.
I got it on the real though. When it comes to Kenny, is there anything that concerns you as far as? I mean, it's not just Kenny. It's Marcus.
No,
like Marcus is the one doing it too. Is there any concern for the fact that it seems like they're just all in, go for it every time, and it doesn't really take that situation into account?
It's worked at times, and it hasn't worked at times. And if it works, you're a genius. If it doesn't, you look like an idiot. But regardless, this team is 9-2 right now. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yeah, duh.
Like,
well, that's the thing.
I'm not going to question the guy who's been coaching for 17 years, is 30-something years old, in his second season has taken a 3-9 program to 9 wins on the doorstep of a conference championship.
You don't think it's understandable to have a little concern with that?
But you can have concern. You asked me. I'm not concerned at all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to.
I hear you.
I'm going to. Well, the thing is, I'm kind of speaking for the people. I'm going to trust Kenny
Dillingham with
my life. I mean, I'm not the people, but I am the mouth.
Rubus,
I'm
the voice of the people.
The mouthpiece of the people.
New nickname just
dropped,
by the way.
That's pretty good. Mouthpiece of the people.
I don't know if that's a good one.
If I'm with the people, that's great because I'm just
You're
one
the
of the people.
Mouthpiece of the people.
You're just the elite, sitting up in your ivory tower, talking down to the people. Me, I'm a man of the people. I'm here for the people. Okay, that's just
I'm getting
who I
roasted in the chat for being shorter than you, by the way.
That is crazy. I'm sorry. We are usually sitting down, and we are usually wearing sunglasses.
It's okay.
So,
What does sunglasses have to do with height?
somebody commented in the chat that this is the first time they've seen us without our shady rays on.
Oh, well, sure. Why not?
These are my eyes.
Enough about play calling. Let's go ahead. Let's get to bottle service.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the player of the game. I feel like there was a couple options.
Emmett Boley.
And, of course, Javan Robinson. Javan Robinson, he is the one getting bottle service tonight. Say what you want about Cam Skattebo and the rest of this team when his team needed him most, when you needed somebody to make the play of the season. Javan Robinson did it. The one interception to put this game seemingly on ice. An absolute masterclass from him. I believe the wide receiver did end up falling down on that play.
He was scared. He was scared of Javan.
And he took it 60-something yards.
Yeah, and hey, that also wastes clock, too.
Oh, yeah, it wasted a ton of clock.
It's a turnover, it wastes clock, and it flips the field.
If he would have been able to just get past Retzlaff,
yeah,
the whole whatever happened at the end here doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you have to give bottle service to somebody who in the biggest game in your program in a decade makes the biggest play.
Yeah.
But you're right. There were a lot of contenders. Of course, Cam Skattebo, 3 first-half touchdowns, including signing a football, which is the most baller thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm fine. Get the penalty. I'm okay. It's your senior day. It's your last time in Mountain America Stadium, and you just scored your third touchdown. I don't care.
Can I tell you why that penalty was a problem?
Why?
Because what did BYU get right before the half?
Field goal.
They got a field goal, right?
Right.
Now.
You have no fun.
Yeah,
I'm
this
just
sucks.
saying.
This is a terrible take.
I'm just saying.
This is a terrible take.
I'm just saying. I'm the devil's advocate here. I love it. I love signing the football. I love being a baller. I love it because you're going to be on ESPN. You're going to be whatever. That 15-yard penalty, if this team loses by a field goal, that hurts.
Okay, that's fair. But what game did we just play with the fourth down failed conversions?
You're right.
They didn't lose.
You're right.
So it's awesome.
You're right.
It's great.
I've been telling you you're right far too often.
This is great. I'm winning. My team is 9-2. Anthony Totri is telling me that I'm right over and over and over again. We have all of you wonderful people in here right now. Over 200 on just YouTube alone. And my day is going to be even better when all of you, every single one, you hit that like button.
Yeah,
to
hit the like button, dude.
Your Sun Devils. And I just want to remind everybody, if you're new in here,
the deli man,
Big Pokey's dancing.
He's dancing over
You
here.
want to know why he's dancing?
Because the Devils are 9-2.
He's probably got the notification on the phone. Your Activate the Valley shirt is on the way because I know he's ordered one, and I know all of you in here have also ordered one. Make sure that you go get your new Activate the Valley shirt. And, of course, remember, we're doing a takeover, and we are out there in Tucson for Hate Week, baby, next Saturday. So, we gave out bottle service, and I mentioned Cam. Cam should definitely be in contention. Do we want to talk about Cam, or do we want to maybe mention a couple contenders for bottle service?
No, I want to talk about Cam Skattebo.
Then let's talk about Cam Skattebo.
Cam Skattebo's a dog. If you didn't know, Cam Skattebo is the guy.
Yes.
He was somebody that you show up to high school, and you look at him, he's like, that guy's him.
Yeah,
right?
you.
Yeah. No, I'm nothing like Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo is just slightly shorter than I am. Cam Skattebo is the guy in every way possible. First half, 96 rushing yards, 16 carries, 3 touchdowns. He put this offense on his back when Sam Leavitt in the passing game wasn't necessarily like part of the game plan. It looked like it wasn't necessarily that like the offense was struggling with the passing attack.
But it wasn't like Kansas State where it was just Jordyn, Tyson, Sam Leavitt torching. You needed Cam Skattebo to be your number one player.
Almost like Marcus Arroyo was like, we can run the ball, and we're just not going to throw it unless they can stop it.
Unless we need to, or just to throw them off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, even if you go back, right, if you go back and you look at the stats from this game from Sam Leavitt, he only completed 16 passes, had a touchdown, an INT that was tipped. He did have 247.
That's a lot of yards for 16
247 passing yards is kind of ridiculous. I mean, down the stretch, he had a big 61-yard pass to Xavier Guillory. That's where a big chunk of those yards come from.
We'll get into driving the game later, and we've given a lot of love to Javan's interception, and rightfully so as well. That touchdown from X on senior day, no less, was perfect.
It was nuclear.
It was the perfect counter. You just took a haymaker and you delivered a haymaker right back. You settled down the crowd. You made sure everybody knew that you were not going to let this game slip out of your control. That was a massive play, and I mentioned it. You need your big three to step up. You had Jordyn Tyson at $125 through the air.
9
right?
catches.
9 catches, $125. Some incredible grabs, some NFL level grabs, mind you. Sam Leavitt, 247 yards through the air despite 16 completions. And then, of course, there's Cam Skattebo, who's doing Cam Skattebo things, but you don't win this game with just that. And I said that going into this week. What you needed was the auxiliary pieces, the other guys, the complementary pieces, the I was going to say the ex-validates again.
You just love that guy.
I don't know why. It's just always.
He's a great running back.
Yeah, you need
Phenomenal
a Guillory. You need a Melquan Stovall.
He came out big 25-yard snack.
Yeah, you needed a Shaman Matire as well.
Yep.
And I know Shaman had the drop, but also had a big play, when you were driving down trying to score later in the game. So you needed everybody else to step up as well. Even Kyson Brown was getting some touches there.
He was.
But you're driven by Leavitt, by Tyson, and then by Skattebo. And you mentioned total domination off the bat. Arizona State dominated Kansas State off the bat, but in a completely different way than how they dominated BYU. And that is such a light shined on the versatility of this team, which is why they're able to win so much. It's why they're able to win close games, because you can go into any possession. You can go into any game, and you're lining up as a defensive back, somebody on the line, whatever. And you're thinking to yourself, all right, I've got Jordyn Tyson over there. The dude can pull off a 50-yard catch, and he could put up $150 in a game easily and score 3 touchdowns. I have Sam Leavitt, who's a dual-threat quarterback, can air it out downfield with a super strong arm. If he gets pressured in the pocket, he's rolling out and he's making something happen, right? And then, there's Cam Skattebo, who can literally do anything and will put me into the dust and eliminate me forever.
Eliminate.
You don't have time to think about everybody else. You don't even have time to think about those three. And so Marcus Arroyo, Kenny, when they go in and they prepare for a team, and a team has a clear strength like BYU in their secondary and a clear weakness in their rush defense, they know exactly what they have to do to exploit that. And it's the opposite when you go to Kansas State. They say, okay, we're going to exploit your secondary. We're going to let Jordyn Tyson. That bodes well because, that coordinator and your defensive coordinator now reportedly locked up for the next 3 years.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
We'll talk about that at the end. And, of course, we'll be talking about it all this week because we do shows 5 days a week, including post-game shows.
We do?
We do.
We do.
In case you missed it. But all of that goes in and you just say, as this team goes on, as more teams have film against them and as you have more film on your team, what is stopping this team from continuing to get better? As we've seen, nothing.
You know the best part?
What?
Is that the skill guys are going to get the love, whatever. The big uglies up front.
They were dominating.
My goodness, the beefcakes on the line. They took care of business, both offensive line, defensive line. I know there's going to be some people that watch the second half of that game and say, well, the Arizona State defense as a whole did not play well. That is not true. I think a little bit of the defensive play calling might have set the Arizona State defense kind of in a really bend, don't break scenario.
They were definitely playing to not lose.
They played a soft zone for a lot of the game. And then you look back at, I believe, the last drive, Brian Ward started to dial up some pressure, but it never really got home, to be completely frank with you. But in terms of stopping the run, Arizona State did a phenomenal job. BYU on the ground just didn't have nearly the same production, 94 total yards. In all honesty, LJ Martin, he had as long as 13 yards. It did not feel like BYU ran the football well at all this game. So you got to give credit where credit is due, and that is obviously to the guys up front, both on the Arizona State offensive and defensive line. Again, guys, do us a solid. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. The PHNX Sun Devils post-game show is going to continue. We've got Aftertaste. We've got the Sanderson Ford drive of the game.
We have sound from Kenny Dillingham.
We have
and Scat.
So much to get to, and we're going to get to it all, I promise, but we are going to do it on the other side of this break.
That game was tasty.
It was tasty.
I'd say so. And it's almost as tasty as NUTRL, because nothing goes better with a 9-2 football team with a shot at the Big 12 title than NUTRL, because they are not artificial. It's not, all these fake sweeteners and it tastes so good that it doesn't taste good at all because you could just tell it's not real. No. NUTRL tastes real good with real ingredients, and they're simple. Vodka, carbonated water, and of course, the juice. The real juice. And they've got everything. Pineapple, orange, watermelon. But I like to be a little bit more adventurous with my NUTRLs.
You?
The cranberry apple, Phenomenal.
That one is my favorite.
Phenomenal.
Okay.
I don't know if it's my favorite because
It's
the
my
strawberry
favorite.
lemonade.
It's
The
my
strawberry lemonade
Cran apple
is up there.
is goated.
And I love doing the post-game show here from Mountain America Stadium,
Mm-hmm.
but I do miss being back in Studio K, cracking open a couple of NUTRLs and celebrating with everybody. So keep it tasty. NUTRL is a 2024 Anheuser-Busch product out of St. Louis, Missouri. Please drink responsibly.
Look, Arizona State, the biggest win of the season, 9-2. I know Tempe is gonna be popping, and I'm sure everybody at home wants to get in on the party. Well, how about you guys go check out our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They have it all. The place to party. Also the place, if you want to just have a nice staycation, Gila River Resorts and Casinos, certainly the place to do that. You can check out any of their locations. Of course, Santan Valley, you can check out Wild Horse Pass. I know we do a ton of events going on over there.
Suns watch party on December 7th, and of course, all Cardinals away games as well. We have watch parties at Wild Horse Pass.
Go check it out. Go win some money, too, over at their sports books, whether you're doing it at the sports books or you're playing any of the, seems like a million table games that they have over there. Go check out our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Remember, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathgila.com for more details.
Should we just get to Kenny Dillingham?
Should we just get crazy?
Yeah, I mean, we've been getting crazy, okay? We've been getting crazy. But I think it's time. We've talked enough. Let's maybe hear Kenny Dillingham's opening statement after beating the number 14 team in the country and moving to 9-2 on the season in first place of the Big 12. This is what your head coach had to say.
Why are there more people here today?
I'll need help with Mike.
Man, we gotta get a bigger room. And one with a mic that works, right?
Kenny, that was quite the end game situation. Can you walk us through all of that from your perspective and then how you feel about the win?
Yeah, I love going into details on things. I'm not going to go into details on that one. We won the football game. We beat another ranked team in Sun Devils in Mountain America Stadium, right? And this is all about the guys. I mean, these guys battled, these guys fought, these guys found a way to win, and it doesn't matter whatever happened at the end, it happened. You know what? We got to rush the field twice. How about that? We rushed the field 3 times this year. That's pretty cool. Not many people get the opportunity to do that. Come to Arizona State because there's going to be a lot more of that coming forward.
He's so juiced up. He's animated today, man. Like, Kenny is normally, like, different. He's a different coach. Saying that afterwards we rushed the field 3 times and then having just the oomph to be like, we're going to be doing a lot more here at Arizona State.
Yeah. I think he's just proud and he's happy, right? And you could tell, like, one thing that he's always been from the second that he got hired is genuine. And that is a genuine fan of this team who gets to lead it. And it's like, you know what? I don't care what happened. I don't need to talk through the mentality or whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, we won. Like, that's what matters is we won this game. We are starting a movement here where he's always wanted to start a movement. I'm talking from Kenny Dillingham's perspective. The PHNX movement is also a movement as well. But you can't help but just love the guy.
Yeah.
You can't help it.
No,
especially because it's working.
I mean, if you're a referee, I can imagine you're not his biggest fan.
Yeah, and I'm not their biggest fan. I'm sure he's not their biggest fan either.
It's crazy. Arizona's State's got maybe 2 of the most animated coaches against referees in all of college sports with Kenny and Bobby.
Who would you want to get yelled at by the least? Bobby or Kenny? You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Not even a question.
No, not even a question. Bobby's face changes colors.
So does Kenny. Kenny doesn't have a voice because he's perpetually screaming at the refs.
Yeah, but he does that normally. Like, he just doesn't have an inside voice. Bobby's like yelling at you.
I mean, Bobby in his pressers and stuff is a lot more like calm and level headed, less like highs and lows of emotion. But as soon as Bobby's on the sideline,
we're talking about our coach's tone of voice.
He's screaming. Woo! Okay, we do have more from the lovely tones.
What do we got?
Kenny Dillingham.
What do we got?
We have Kenny on why not going to score on the 4th down conversions and going for it instead.
Because, I mean, if you score, they have a minute left. There is a chance that they could score kick and onside kick and win. In reality, there was a point where there was under 12 seconds left to go in the game. We have 2 plays, right? Each play should take roughly 6 to 7 seconds if you're in a delay scenario. So the first one we tried to delay, and it only took 4.5. So then there was 5 seconds. So then there was 7 seconds left. And we rolled out, we threw the ball away, and it landed, and it should take a certain amount of time through a lot of reps, through a lot of programs. There's a lot of statistics behind that thought process, and we won the game. But I'm not going to, obviously we all know what happened at the end. It is what it is. Who cares? Won the football game. This guy to my right, 3 touchdowns, I think, in the first half. Unbelievable Sun Devil, right? First time we've been undefeated in this stadium since before he maybe was born. Where were you born?
202.
Oh, no, he was born. He was 2, right? The last time that we went undefeated in this stadium, and for him to be a part of that's unbelievable.
You know, I know that people want to get on Kenny for going for it, and I understand. You know,
are you one of those people?
I'm not going to get on him. I'd say in the later situation, I personally would have taken the points. But one thing that I know is for sure is that he's not just flying by the seat of his pants, right?
No, he's got a plan.
He's not just like he's not like, you know, we're playing Madden. Screw it. Go for it. Who cares? No, like he mentioned the numbers, he mentioned the data, and of course, like his gut as well. I don't think he ever just does it on a whim. And that is why I'm okay with it, even if in certain points I disagree with it, because I know for a fact that he's probably stayed up until like 3 a.m. multiple nights this week thinking about that exact scenario.
Yeah, I can't imagine Kenny Dillingham slept last night.
Or ever.
And well, look, and I know there's people that want to talk about the play calling and want to talk about the situations and all that stuff, but I think what we're missing here is this team is 9-2.
I don't think we're missing that.
I feel like we are.
I feel
like we're just like, oh, this team, they could have called the plays better down the stretch, or they could have gone for it, or they could have kicked the field goal, or they could have done this, or they could have done that. The game went how the game went, and now they're in the driver's seat. That's all that matters. Everything else gets thrown out the window. I don't care if they went for it and didn't get it. I don't care if BYU had a chance to win it down the stretch. I don't care if ASU fans stormed the field twice. I really don't care. They're 9-2. They control their own destiny to the Big 12 championship. I don't care what ESPN said. All Arizona State has to do is they have to beat the Arizona Wildcats next Saturday to give you something else to be thankful for.
Jeez.
This team is a win away from a double-digit 10-win season. They are, by tomorrow morning, going to be they should be a top 15 team in the country.
If they're not.
6 spots feels like a long jump, but they should be a
dude.
top 15 team.
They should. If they're not a top 15 team after what they've done in back-to-back weeks and the manner in which they've done it as well, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Well, currently you and I are doing a postgame.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just wanna make sure
you don't
you
want
knew.
to talk about, the nitpicking, and I get it. I don't really want to do that either. I want to highlight what might be my favorite moment from the game.
Okay, let me guess. The Javan Robinson interception.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's one of it, but it's
Is it one of
it's
Cam
something different.
Skattebo's 3 touchdowns?
Yes, it's the one that we had kind of talked about what he did afterwards.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
The whole
signing autograph.
Yeah.
The
really
thing that
cool
you were doing
thing.
outside at the tailgates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was signing so many autographs. Actually, if I sign a jersey, it goes down in value.
It appreciates in value.
It's like,
you actually did sign a jersey this week.
I did, but not for a fan. Anyway, this is Cam Skattebo on signing the ball after scoring another touchdown in the first half.
Maybe explain the whole touchdown autograph session there that you had, and then after that.
Yeah, explain it. I'd love to hear all about it.
That's actually one of my boys. The touchdown before, he held the ball out in the Sharpie, and I talked to my team, my lineman. I was like, next touchdown, I'm gonna go sign, try to get behind me so the refs don't see it. That was on me. That was 100% on me. I made that mistake, so that definitely won't happen again. One-time thing. I think that might be my second personal flag in my entire life. So I think the thought of just going over there and feeling that after a touchdown was awesome. And if they needed me on kickoff the next for that 20-yard kick or whatever, I would have been there. But we got it handled. So.
I think the best part about all of this is watching Jordyn, Tyson, Cam Skattebo, and Kenny Dillingham interact with each other. And if you're listening on audio, I'd recommend going and checking this out on video on our YouTube stream, because Cam gives this little look to Kenny like, oh, whoops, yep, I did do that. And then you just see Jordyn, Tyson just dying laughing. And then, Cam explaining it like, that's my boy and blah, blah, blah. And then Kenny just shaking his head. Like, obviously, if that actually ended up costing them the game, then you wouldn't be laughing about it.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But you're sitting here and you win the game, and that's such a fun moment. And I know secretly deep down inside, like, Kenny's so happy they did that because that's just a fun moment.
That's a moment you'll never forget.
It's a moment you'll never forget, and I'm sure he's going to be like, that was stupid. You caused us, basically gave up a field goal because of it, because of the yardage situation and everything, but that was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and I'm proud of you.
It was 100% one of the coolest things I've seen.
To do it on senior night as well is such an important moment for a player like Cam Skattebo because he has given so much to this team, and especially like last season when he was playing so many different positions and just playing on a losing team and being the best player on that losing team. And, I got to kick. Oh, I got to throw. Oh, I got to run, right? I'm surprised I didn't put him in on defense. And you've done all of that, and then you get this moment, and you are playing a top 25 ranked matchup in your senior day at home with a Big 12 conference championship hanging in the balance going forward, your ability to get that. And you score 3 touchdowns in the first half, and you go and you sign a ball for one of your friends on the sideline after scoring one of those touchdowns. That is baller. There's no way around it.
It's quite literally ball is life.
Yes.
That's what he did. It's incredible work. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. I believe we do have one more soundbite from Jordyn, Tyson, and Xavier Guillory, and we are going to make sure you guys get to hear it, but we are going to take one final break. I want to tell you guys a little bit about our friends. I was going to say my friends, but I guess they're all of our friends.
It's everybody's friends.
Over at Circle K. If you haven't signed up for Inner Circle yet, I don't know what you're doing. It is their free membership program. It is super, super easy to sign up. Just download the app, enter your email, and voila. You are an Inner Circle member. You pull up to the pump, and just like that, you're just going to put in your phone number, and boom.
What happens?
You're starting to get deals like crazy.
Like what
saving
deals?
25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups, and then every single day after that,
That can't be more.
you can save 3 cents per gallon.
Every time I fill up.
Well, every single time you fill up, not to mention you can enjoy your member-exclusive beverage deal. Inner Circle members, like you can get any size Polar Pop or Froster for just 79 cents. I don't know how good you are at math, but that is less than $1, Erik.
I couldn't figure that out.
Just 79 cents. Join Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details.
You cut Kenny Dillingham open, he's bleeding maroon and gold. You cut me open, I'm bleeding Desert Financial blue. Because Desert Financial Credit Union has been in my family for literal generations.
Yeah.
My grandparents to my parents to me. I mean, almost like 100 years at this point because they've been around for 85. I mean, Desert Financial has everything for you. For the basics, maybe you just got your first job. Maybe your kid just got their first job. They need a checkings and a savings account. Boom. Desert Financial Credit Union has you covered. But what about the rest? The mortgages, the loans, the credit cards, investment options, and more? Well, they have a wonderful staff in so many locations across the valley with great hours that you can go to and you can get all of that figured out. But I keep on bearing the lead with these Desert Financial REITs.
You really do.
Because here's the thing. They want to give you, yes, you, $200 for free just by opening up a checking account online. Plus, you can spend that $200 on any ASU branded Visa debit cards. Open your free checking account online. Get $200 plus your choice of 3 ASU Visa debit cards. Go to desertfinancial.com/ASU to get started.
Look, Jordyn Tyson has had a monster season.
Yes.
An absolute monster season. Xavier Guillory hasn't necessarily had the Arizona State career that maybe some individuals thought he was going to have. Me being one of those individuals thinking he was going to have a ridiculous career at Arizona State.
Yeah.
However, when the Sun Devils have needed him to step up this season, he's found a way. He was on Heat Index earlier this week. We said we didn't need him to be a superstar. We just needed him to make a play or two to help alleviate some pressure on Sam Leavitt, on Jordyn Tyson, and of course, Cam Skattebo. And Xavier Guillory came up big. 1 catch today, but he only needed 1 to go 61 yards and have a touchdown. Xavier Guillory and Jordyn Tyson have been a just ridiculous duo for Sam Leavitt in this passing attack. And I know a lot of it has been Jordyn Tyson, but Xavier Guillory, I think, continues to prove that when his team needs him, he can make a play.
He makes timely grabs.
He does.
And he's done it in a couple games so far. And when you do have such a reliant, like, number one in Jordyn Tyson, and you know, the defense knows that Sam's going to be looking at him first, Jordyn can get his own and he can get his yards. He makes some really difficult contested grabs. But if you don't have just like a pressure release valve right off the side to say, you know what, they got 2 on Tyson and we got 1 wide open there, you throw it to X. and he catches it and he makes big plays. And I know that sounds simple, but having somebody that you can rely upon to do that, and somebody who has made mistakes this season but hasn't let it get in his own head when he's made mistakes and when he's dropped balls, that is such an important piece to have as an offense, especially when you don't really have like a super deep receiving core as far as like putting up legit numbers every single day. Having somebody who still can show up when called upon is wonderful, not only for X because it shows that he's really good at his job and what he's needed to do with this team, but also for the team to actually have him as a weapon.
Yeah, they've had two completely different journeys, to be completely honest with you. This is what Xavier Guillory and Jordyn Tyson had to say about their time at Arizona State thus far.
You guys have both had long journeys here, unique journeys. Can you guys both speak on what it's like being on the other side of it now, 9-2, playing for a Big 12 title game next week?
Yeah, so I actually went to Idaho State before this, and I went to BYU and lost like 77 to 7 or something crazy. So it felt awesome just to be here with the team that everybody's bought in. Nobody really tripping over their own personal accolades, and we just all playing for each other. This is something special that we got here, and the players that we got, and the coaches that we have and stuff. So it feels awesome to be on this side, and I'm just thankful. I just wake up and just be thankful to be here, and it's an honor.
Shane, if we can get you like the
Can I answer that question?
Oh yeah, sorry, Jordyn.
It's amazing, bro. For like me, like my situation, bro, ACL, MCL, PCL, scope, bro, like you're not supposed to come back and do this, bro. Like it's not human, like, bro. It's all God, bro. God, and he had a Liz Frake injury, bro. Like one of the rarest injuries you can find, bro. It's not human, like to come back and do these things that we doing. It's all God, and it's just amazing to be on the other side of that.
Just unbelievable for these two individuals, again, to have the journeys that they've had, both transfer wide receivers, one from a big-time school, one from a non-big-time school, and then to come together and be just reliable security blankets for such a young quarterback in Sam Leavitt. And obviously Xavier Guillory is going to go on. His time at Arizona State is going to be finished. But Jordyn Tyson still with the opportunity to go carve out a legacy here at Arizona State.
I mean, they're perfect examples of what we mentioned at the start of the show, which is why this is all working here. And it's not because you have a group full of 5 stars and people who were getting $1 million NIL deals coming out of high school. No, you have people who had to earn it. You had people who had to take the long way. You didn't take the shortcut home. You had to go around all the, like we did to get to our parking garage today. You had to go around all the closed streets. Dude. You had to take all the different turns and whatever. And yeah, the journey's long, but it makes getting to the destination.
That journey was really long.
But it makes getting to the destination even sweeter. And those are two perfect examples of that. And that's two perfect ways to show what this ASU team is made of, what is in their DNA. Because it's the same thing with Kenny Dillingham. Sure, he's the youngest head coach in college football. And I get it. Some people might look at that and say, oh, he took the short route. No, he was already coaching for 17 years, right? And he was coaching because he got injured and now he's going to coach high school football and whatever. But he had to go through and earn it and work and put himself in front of the right people. And you know who had to do that for him? Him. He had nobody else. Jordyn Tyson rehabbing his injury. Sure, you have a team around you, but that is all completely mental.
He shredded his knee, dude. His knee was nothing.
It was bad. When you have to sit out for that long, that's really bad. Like your knees, it should be toast.
It was toast.
If that happened to me, I wouldn't be able to walk anymore. Like he's playing football at a high level.
You're built like not as good,
like paper mache.
Yeah,
basically.
Kind of look like paper mache.
I might really punch you. I might really punch you. I might. Hey, hit the like button if you want me to fight Anthony Totri live on stream. Let's see how many likes do we have right now. Let me refresh this.
Yeah,
let me set a goal. I gotta set a good
goal.
A good goal. We're at 100. Wow, we're at 109 likes right now.
Don't sound so surprised.
No, we get that. We get that to start. Well, my screen when I refreshed it was at 17.
Yeah.
Because I didn't refresh it yet. So if we get to 250 likes, me and Anthony Totri will have a WWE-style wrestling match here in this booth.
We won't be doing
Okay, but can we get to 250 likes anyway?
250? I thought you just said 200.
No, I said 250.
Did you? Yeah, I mean, that works. Yeah, hit the like button.
Yeah, hit 250.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool by me. You want to get to Aftertaste?
Yeah, I haven't even thought about this.
I want to do Aftertaste, and I want to get Captain Redbeard, of course, to answer this question as well. If you guys are new here in the chat, Aftertaste, it's a segment where I ask you pretty much what this game tasted like. Good, bad, somewhere in between. So, Erik, for you, what was holstered into your tongue contraption today?
A nice,
it always starts with a nice,
warm piece of apple pie with a scoop of ice cream on it.
Vanilla ice cream?
Yeah. Because here's the thing. You're like, okay, we got to get through the meat and potatoes of the schedule. And then you're like, okay, well, if you can have dessert, then that elevates it, that makes it even sweeter, right? This was dessert because you've been looking forward to it. But you're like, ooh, can my tummy handle it? Am I able to maybe eat it? And you ate the whole dang thing. And it tasted so good. It was warm. It was cold. It was sweet. It was everything that you could possibly imagine.
I'm so hungry.
And you know what? You went back for seconds because you rushed the field twice. So you went and got a second piece of pie with a second scoop of ice cream.
I like it. Captain Redbeard, what was holstered into your tongue contraption this evening?
Very, very quick story time. So when I was out in the
was
gold
something
mine,
actually holstered into your tongue contraption?
No, but this is a good story. When I was out in the gold mine, my buddy and I, we're running out of food, and basically, we were kind of struggling out there, and these other guys who were out there to work that we weren't affiliated with, they came out there, and they had beers, which I won't say the brand, but they had some beers, and we were out walking around for hours, just out on the beach, and then he showed up with an ice cold beer, and it was the greatest beer I've ever had in my life. And that's what this game felt like. It reminded me of the greatest beer I've ever had.
Wow.
The greatest beer he's ever had.
I'd love that. Guys, if you are watching us on television, the conversation continues. Come join us over at gophnx.com. Again, for everybody watching us on television, the conversation continuing over at gophnx.com. I love those answers. You both gave really good tasty answers.
Thoroughly.
I've got my answer, but I know I'm going to get grilled for it. I'm going to get grilled. No. So I was a husky kid. I was a husky middle schooler.
I'm sorry.
And I loved.
Just caught me off guard.
I loved coming home from school, and I loved Hot Pockets.
Yeah,
I absolutely loved them.
No free ads.
Sorry, no free ads. Sorry, Max. But I remember getting the pizza one, the pizza Hot Pocket, and you'd stick it in the microwave for 2 minutes?
Sure.
Right?
Until it was molten hot.
Until it was just absolutely burning your mouth on fire.
Yes.
So this, to me, tasted like a Hot Pocket that you took out at 1:59, and there was 1 second left on the microwave, and you had to just put it back in, and you just had to finish. You just had to let it be done.
For 1 second?
For 1 second.
Okay.
And then your mouth was on fire. That's what this was to me. It burned my mouth. It was so awesome, it burned my mouth.
I appreciate the storytelling.
Yeah.
And the effort there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
the
I like
effort.
It. Yeah, the effort.
The effort.
You put in a lot of effort there.
I did. I put
Anthony
in. It's what I
Totri.
do. Maximum effort.
Yeah.
At all times.
Always.
That's what I do. What was holstered into your tongue contraption, Senor Deli Man? Senor Deli Man.
Senor Deli Man
hard.
does actually go pretty
I don't know
hard.
how that goes harder than just Deli Man.
Senor
you add
Deli
the
Man.
Senor.
I understand that
Deli Man.
modification
It's
to
adding
it.
it. It's more is more.
Habibi Deli Man.
Boss man.
Just a nice cold unbranded sports drink after you went on a crazy run. So I was in the thick of it, obviously, on the field, and we'll have a whole recap of.
Yeah, we got a whole vlog.
Yeah,
oh, it's gonna be so cool.
It'll be out on Monday, so keep your eye out for that. Pretty unbelievable scenes there. I've never been more tired, and I actually experienced that, but with water in the press box. Because I went from the field to the media room for coach and everyone else's availability, and then I came up here, and I hadn't had water from halftime to then.
Unbelievable.
And it was probably the best sip of water I've ever had. So yeah, nice.
The best sip of water ever.
Yeah, maybe the best sip of water after, or just a nice sports drink. What's your guys' favorite sports drink flavor?
Flavor?
Whoa.
Fruit punch.
Blue.
I like orange.
Just blue. Blue's
like
the flavor.
I mean, blue's good. Light blue.
Light blue is awesome.
Light blue and dark blue is very different.
I was going to text you guys this, but I'll just say it now. We also have sound from Kenny talking about the coordinators when you guys get to that. Available shortly.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll absolutely talk about
let's get to that in a second. We do have 2 super chats. One is something that we've already covered, but I want to make sure I shout out to William Morrison, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, William. Sorry we missed this earlier. We could not see the chat. Says, love Kenny, but for God's sake, cut out the cute stuff and run it 3 times from the 7.
I mean, that's pretty point blank.
I get it. There are
cut
sometimes
out the cute stuff. Give it a 4 3 times.
There are some times that it feels like, especially on third down, that they get a little bit cute. But I still trust the process.
I will tell you what, Marcus Arroyo, you have done such a masterful job this season. But I hate, and this is just me personally. You know way more football than me, and that's fine. But I am just an angry man when you run end arounds on 3rd and 2. I don't care who it's to. I hate them. I hate them so much. I get your much more developed football mind than myself. But I hate end arounds. Just give it a Cam Skattebo. Give it a Kyson Brown. Just anything but an end around, please.
So funny enough, both of the super chats that we have involve, questioning a little bit Kenny Dillingham, which I think is really funny that after this game, those are the super chats. But again, shout out JH for a $4 super chat. Says, love my Sun Devils, but horrible time management by Coach Kenny. And I'm so happy Colorado lost. Can't believe we're probably going to be 10-2 and Big 12 champions? ?
You still got some.
It's nothing's handed to you, and I know that Arizona State will be a massive favorite going into Tucson, but it's a rivalry game. You have to show up, and I have no doubt that this team will, ready to play and ready to put them in the dirt.
Let's go. All you gotta do is take care of business next week.
That's
All you
it.
gotta do is take care of business next week.
Your destiny is in your hands. And we sat back. We're like, hey, there's like this long shot that all these things happen, and ASU controls their own destiny.
And all of those things happen.
Right. And everything happened. It goes back to last week. Kansas beating BYU. And then Kansas beating Colorado.
Hey, real quick, did UCF beat West Virginia? Because right now, all my picks have hit. I had Kansas plus 2.5. I had Arizona State money line. I also had UCF money line.
UCF lost 31-21. Texas Tech beat Oklahoma State. Kansas won. Of course, we won. TCU beat the dog poop out of Arizona. Kansas State currently up 13-0 on Cincinnati. Iowa State up 17-13 Utah at halftime. And Baylor beating Houston by 10 in the third. But none of that matters because the Arizona State Sun Devils, they won.
Houston's so bad at football.
They beat Kansas State, ain't that something?
And Arizona beat Houston.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
You just got to take care of business.
The Pac-12 vacation of the Big 12. Do we have anything else specifically on this game?
We do. We have the Sanderson Ford
drive of the game.
I know I usually leave that up to you. So football is back, and so are the deals over at Arizona's largest Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. Shop America's most awarded Ford dealership with no hassle, no pressure, and, of course, no nonsense. What do you have, Mr. Rubis?
Well, surprising to absolutely nobody.
First drive of the
game. No, it was not the first drive of the game. In fact, it was the drive that ended in a Javan Robinson interception. And this is the drive of the game because you were bending, and you were bending pretty bad, right? So it starts off. Huh? Yeah, you were bending. You're at the BYU 25. LJ Martin rushes for 5 yards. Keelan Marion rushes for 6 yards. Retzlaff completes a pass for 3 yards, and then another run for 5 yards. And there's chunking it away, and then boom, a 9-yard reception. It's a first down. And then, boom, another pass incomplete, but then a penalty thrown on ASU. A Miles Rouser, 15-yard penalty. Okay, it's a first down. Then they run for a loss of 1, and you think, what's going to happen here? Well, Jake Retzlaff's pass. Intercepted by Javan Robinson.
Sound
it is
like
the perfect
old-timey college football broadcasters. Retzlaff, he throws it. Intercepted Javan Robinson. He's running the 50, the 40, the 30. My goodness. Get your Cracker Jacks.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's all I got, though.
That's all you got?
That took a lot.
That was the Sanderson Ford drive of the game, brought to you by 1970s play-by-play, 1980s play-by-play.
That was probably earlier than that. That's like 1930s. See? Yeah, it's like
your Arizona
1930s.
State Sun Devils.
Shane, Senor Deli Man has got just a phenomenal one. I'm sorry, but Senor Deli Man is sticking. Yeah. That's what it is just from now on. Like, that's just what it's got to be.
You know who else is sticking around?
Ooh,
that
baby.
Transition.
Brian Ward. You ruin it when you say that was a hell of a transition.
No, I don't, because I want to bring it up.
Defensive coordinator Brian Ward, Marcus Arroyo staying put, signing on the dotted line. 3-year extensions for both of them. I was told by a source before kickoff that that these extensions were agreed upon in Manhattan, Kansas. So you just had to sign on the dotted line. Ward, Arroyo, here to stay for the foreseeable future. Some of the highest paid assistants in Arizona State football history.
As they should be.
Yeah.
And as they've absolutely earned. And this was 100, 1 million, 1 quadrillion % the right move, because you have something special brewing here. And of course, like, Kenny Dillingham is the head of the snake, but Marcus Arroyo, Brian Ward, all of the coordinators and everybody on the coaching staff below him are very key parts as to why all of this works. Why is Javan Robinson here? Well, Javan Robinson is here because of Brian Ward. You want to keep people here. You want to continue to have an attractive scheme. You want to continue to have an attractive offense and put Sam Leavitt in a position where, as a redshirt freshman, he looks like that. Jordyn Tyson looks like that coming off of an injury. And Cam Skattebo looks like that coming off already an amazing season. He got better. You have to give so much credit to those two and their, of course, subsequent assistants as well. And this was what good football programs do. Good football programs take care of their own.
Great football programs
take care of their own.
Good football programs have good seasons and let their assistants get going.
Because that's the thing is if this didn't happen, then the entire offseason would be talked about, can we steal Arroyo? Can we steal Ward from all these other teams? Dude, Mike Luke is talking about...
Mike Luke is going to owe me $200.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He's going to have donated to my favorite charity.
You gonna take me out to dinner?
No, that's the different kind of charity. I'm going to do it to a real charity. Real charity.
That's crazy.
No, being able to retain Marcus Arroyo and then, of course, Brian Ward are massive. For me, the Marcus Arroyo one is bigger simply because you've got something, like you said, something special, right? Not just as a team, not just as a unit, but specifically on offense with Sam Leavitt. He's made some phenomenal jumps over the first handful of months of his career at Arizona State, and you can continue that trend. It's going to be nice to go into next season and not have to worry about Sam Leavitt learning an entirely new offense. And Sam Leavitt is impressed in year one. Just wait till you see now what an entire offseason can do in year two. More weapons now in the portal, potentially being able to keep Jordyn Tyson. Like, a big part of being able to retain your players is being able to retain your assistants, the guys that got them here. Like you said, Brian Ward being able to get a guy like Javan Robinson, Jordyn Tyson,
Jordan
Xavier
Crook,
Alford,
who had
Jordan
an interception
Crook.
today, came here because of the scheme that Brian Ward runs.
There is a number of Sun Devils, 35 of 44, that can come back and play at Arizona State next season. Being able to keep your offensive and defensive coordinators for the next foreseeable future is massive, and being able to keep those guys and go get even better ones to fill the void left by these seniors.
Because you've seen it in current day college football, right? It's a madhouse. You're losing coaches left and right, and you could see what losing a coach does to a program. Obviously, this is a head coach that they lost, but I'm not even trying to throw shots, but look at the difference between Arizona last year to this year. Look how much of a difference a coach makes.
They were a 10-win football team last year.
Look at the difference between Arizona State under year one and year two of Kenny Dillingham. That's what a good football coach does. That's a difference that brings, and he has the right people around him. And if you sit down and you're able to keep Sam Leavitt, which, all signs from his family, who again does not speak for the player.
I don't think you're losing Sam.
I don't think you're losing Sam either, right? So when you do that and you're able to, let's say, retain Sam Leavitt and continue to grow Sam Leavitt, if Sam Leavitt gets significantly better, he will be in the Heisman conversation. I'm not doubting that at all. If he gets significantly better, he's in the Heisman conversation, because then this team continues to get better. If Jordyn Tyson comes back, and that's probably the best 1-2 punch in the entire Big 12, and high school guys and transfer guys see that, and they say, in this world where I know I'm getting promised things, but when I go, I don't know if they're going to deliver, and I might be in Mississippi one year, and I might be in Oregon the next year, and I might do whatever, right? Maybe I just want to find a home. Maybe I want to go somewhere where I can trust that there's going to be a system, there's going to be a process. Maybe I need to redshirt a year, but I don't want to be just thrown around and promised things that are different. No. You're going to come to Arizona State because they are a winning football program, and they are a winning football program that does not do it the cheap, quick, microwave way.
Not like the Hot Pocket.
Not like the Hot Pocket.
Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. Erik, any final thoughts on what we just witnessed here?
I think we have somebody on the extensions of Ward and Arroyo. Is it Scat or is it Kenny? Kenny.
Okay.
We have Kenny.
Let's go ahead and get to Kenny Dillingham on being able to retain both Brian Ward and Marcus Arroyo.
The direction of the program, how there's going to be consistency here in a world where there's very little consistency. But I mean, if you look at those guys out there, like I wore this shirt today, right, for the Sun Angel Collective, for a purpose. Is if you had fun watching him play and make those plays, like it was there all night. It was there all night, because it's a different day and age in college football. And if that was something that we want to continue to do, then what's that saying? Pay the man his money, right? Isn't that like a saying? Like, pay the man his money. Like, pay these guys what they deserve to be paid. Because right now, our team is underpaid. And we're doing more with guys who just got it out the mud. But eventually, you should get what you deserve. And our guys...
Give me my money.
That's what he said. Just give me my money.
We got to clip that, by the way. That's got to be clipped, and that's going on social for sure. That is incredible stuff.
Yeah, I think that he said it perfectly, and he talks about getting it out of the mud, and you also just mentioned, like, and you just look at it all, and you're like, these are people who get along personally. And,
Yeah.
I think that is like
They're
number
all
one hurdle.
sickos.
They're all sickos, right? They get along personally because of how they approach football, and you can tell that. And every single player who we asked, "Why are you here?" they just said you could tell that there's something special here, and you could tell by the way, like when we first met them, right? When ASU secures, the number one JUCO wide receiver, right?
Yeah.
After winning their last home game, and they go out to Topgolf. Do you want to know who was out there with Kenny Dillingham?
Go tell me.
I'm pretty sure it was Marcus Arroyo who was out there as well. Like those are the things that change a program that people outside don't understand, is what these coordinators do and the culture that they establish, the identity that they establish. And when you have belief from your head coach to the point where he says, I'm focused on getting them paid more than I am myself, why would you not want to stay here? A beautiful city with a wonderful fan base. You now have a winner. All of your sanctions are behind you. You're clearly now with an athletic director and an athletic department who's willing to spend the money, go deep into NIL, and make sure that they take care of their own coaches. What is the downfall? What is the thing that is stopping somebody from looking at Arizona State and saying, I want to be there for the next decade, whether it's as a coach, if I want to be there for my entire collegiate career, if I want to end my collegiate career because I've been bouncing around? Who looks at this place and says, nah, I don't want to go there? I can't think, if I put myself in anybody's shoes, in a non-biased perspective, if you lay all the facts out on the table of everything that this program has done this year, who would not want to come here?
A loser?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got. That's all I got, to be completely frank with you. It's unbelievable, and it's a brilliant job by Arizona State to have this news leaked today of all days, when you do have the biggest game in Tempe in the last 10 years. So definitely brilliant stuff going on within the Arizona State football department. I do want to go ahead and get to closing time. Of course, this segment is powered by NUTRL. Keep it tasty, Tempe. Enjoy responsibly. Normally there's 3 takeaways. I got just 3 words for you. Control your destiny. That's what Arizona State has set up right now. A team that was picked to finish dead last in the Big 12 going into the season is now in the driver's seat to be in the Big 12 title game. All it takes is beating your rival, a team who has stunk it up all season. Next week, win and you're in. We said early on in the season that this was going to be a time where we were maybe going to start saying some pretty irresponsible things after this team won 4, 5, 6 games. Now the irresponsible things are reality. Arizona State is just 2 wins away from being in the 12-team college football playoff.
Man. Oh, come on.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, dude.
Absolutely unbelievable stuff. I believe we have the final play of the game, the final sequence of the game. Let's go ahead and throw that up there. If you guys were watching on TV, obviously just some ridiculous stuff going on. You had the fans storming the field. Honestly, he made the catch. The BYU wide receiver made the catch at the end there. Yeah. Somebody in the chat early on was like, if only Retzlaff's noodle arm was able to get it all the way.
This is a moment that you will remember forever. And it's funny because you look at the stands and it's like, wow, there's some people who are not back there, And it's like, oh, well, you want to know why? Because
they're all on the sidelines.
They had just rushed the field.
So from being down there, first of all, I was very terrified, not only because they're getting a chance at a Hail Mary, but Retzlaff was able to practice the Hail Mary throws during that long stoppage. Yeah, he was just chucking them up, getting it perfectly there.
He's tiring his arm out.
And so I guess so. But yeah, you see Sam Leavitt here, like, it was truly such a crazy experience running. I ran into a couple of my buddies, and then I look and it's Sam Leavitt. Kenny, the first time Kenny's screaming at the refs. Like, it was one of the most insane experiences to be a part of, and to see the Valley embrace this team like this, and the student section stay the whole time. And
yeah, that was awesome.
It was, truly, you're never going to get an experience to experience something like this again. And so I hope the fans that were all there soaked it all in. I hope the players soaked it all in. And
I don't think there's going to be a lot of soaking tonight.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the verbiage we chose, huh?
See, this is exactly what you're doing. You're doing the thing where you're like, oh, you ruined the transition. It was a good transition. You could have just let that go.
Yeah, but I couldn't. We've been on for over an hour and 10 minutes now. I couldn't let you just say
we're holding
soak.
strong.
I couldn't let you just say soak and get away with it. Come on, man. Let's be real.
I'm out of here.
I mean, this is just really cool. And shout out to our entire team who's been here. Obviously, Shane out there getting video game, the post-game sound as well. Kyle was shooting video
Pat
too.
Brown was here
with
today.
us. Of course, Patrick Brown, who does the PHNX newsletter. It comes out all the weekdays, and you're going to want to tune into that. He's doing a lot of ASU stuff as well. He's been really wonderful. He's awesome. Has been covering Arizona State as well. Just the whole crew. I mean, we had 5 people out here for PHNX covering this game. Yeah. That's probably more than most institutions are sending to one sporting event. And so PHNX, big time shout out for that. We appreciate all of you supporting.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wouldn't be able to do all of this if it wasn't for every single person in here right now. Even if you're just one viewer, if you're one download, if you're one like, that all adds up over time. And we are not here without any of you. So big shout out to you, Anthony Totri. You did a fantastic job today, as you always do. Kyle, Shane, Patrick, everybody in the chat. I mean, this is such a fun season. This is such a fun team, but it's better when we can share this experience together. Shout out to everybody we met out there or met in person. For me, the first time when we go out to tailgates and we were walking around the stadium, met up with a diehard as well, a little PHNX Sun Devils meetup. You know, there were so many people out there, and it's such a fun community and it's such a fun time. I just think we should all take a step back and really appreciate that.
I'm here for it, guys. Again, if you enjoyed the content today or any other day, do us a follow. Go ahead and follow us at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me.
Run it back. Do you know what you said?
I said follow and then follow again.
You said do us a follow.
Do us a favor and follow us at PHNX_Sun Devils. It's been a long day. Okay, it's been a long day for everybody. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You can follow this guy, Senor Spin Zone, at Erik Ruby. That is Erik with a K. You can follow the captain of this creaky ship, but sturdy.
We're making it.
At K Coop Sports. Guys, we will be back at it on Monday. But in the meantime, go Devils and peace.
We all silly like the mayor.